We're back inside of the Dome for an NCCAA matchup between the Bluefield College Rams and the Piedmont International Bruins here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. Hello, everybody. Bailey Engel here. Glad to have you with us as the Rams try to bounce back from a tough conference loss over the weekend to the Bryan College Lions. Lions were able to avenge an earlier loss to Bluefield this season on January 19th. Over the weekend, Bluefield lost that game 86-80, a tough one for Bluefield that now puts them at 12-7. Speaking of revenge, the Rams trying to do the same thing against Piedmont International. This was a game that was supposed to be played last Monday in that rematch of a game played down in North Carolina a couple of weeks ago where the Rams lost 73-62. Tamir Glenn really led the way for the Bruins with 21 points. Another D1 transfer to watch out for on this team, number 32, Colton Bishop. As for Bluefield, the last time they were here at the Dome, they look good, and they have played well this season here in the two Virginias. Against Point back on January 12th, 106-76 they got the win as Richard Morgan's team is now heading into the big meat of the AAC schedule. They'll have Columbia International in just 2 days from now down in South Carolina on Wednesday, and then Truett McConnell this weekend here at the Dome. So Bluefield after that with 4 straight conference road games. It's only going to get tougher for Bluefield College as they now head onto the floor with the white jerseys as well as the red numbers. Jorge Concepcion, Jeremiah Jenkins, Naquan Cousins, as well as Taekwon Reed will make the start for Bluefield College, as well as Donnell Gooch, who will get the start at center, the 6'9 senior from Raleigh, North Carolina. Well, Piedmont International, headed by Joseph Howard, now in his second season as the head coach of the Bruins, an NBA All-Star back in 2007, played for a decade in the league, most of the time with the Dallas Mavericks, as well as an ACC Player of the Year back in 2003. His number 5 is retired by Wake Forest. Starting lineup for Piedmont International, Tamir Glenn, the junior from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, actually where Piedmont International is located. He will get the start, averaging right around 16 points per game. As well as Kendall Oliver, the junior guard from Jacksonville, Florida. China Jones, who played well against Bluefield, the freshman from Durham, North Carolina. Robert Parks, the freshman from Birmingham. And Colton Bishop, the transfer from UNC Wilmington. In the middle of the floor to be China Jones as well as Donnell Gooch. Ball is in the air, and it goes to Bluefield. Snatched out by Naquan Cousins. Rams start with the ball with Jeremiah Jenkins running the point for Bluefield, going right to left. Underhand pass to Taekwon Reed from Cousins, and now around the arc they go. Cousins near corner, pressured in the defense by Kendall Oliver. Bounces Gooch left block, zips onto the right wing. Concepcion rises for 3. Count it. 3-0 in favor of Bluefield. A good start for the Rams out as now they'll run a full court press on UNC Wilmington, and a foul is called in the backcourt already. So Tamir Glenn was trying to run the ball up for Bluefield, and Jenkins put a hand in there. 19:34 left to go in the first half. And for Bluefield, that's their first foul. So the Rams 12-7 on the year. Piedmont International 7-10. And has to throw it into Colton Bishop, averaging in double figures for Piedmont International. Right around 6 rebounds per game. He's second on the team behind Glenn, who has the most rebounds. Into the right wing, China Jones bounces right block down to Kendall Oliver, who zips it out top of the key. Bishop, 19:18 left to go in the game clock. Bishop feeds far corner over to Robert Parks. Swings into the right wing. A 3-ball coming up for the Bruins. Off the front rim, no good after it's missed from Kendall Oliver. And an offensive board goes for Tamir Glenn. Has it on a hip-high dribble in the deep left wing. Jeremiah Jenkins steps up onto the defense. 19 minutes left to go in the first half. Glenn with a step back. The transfer from NCA&T swings a pass out to Parks. Far corner 3. Swish. Ties up the game at 3-3. 18:50 left to go in the first half. A couple of 3 balls and a long possession for Piedmont International, wearing the black jerseys and those Carolina blue shoes with the Carolina blue numbers on the front. 18.5 minutes to play in the first half. Jenkins bounces free throw line. Concepcion steps out, long 3, top of the key, and he misses. Rebound going for Kendall Oliver in the backcourt as the Bruins take the ball left to right. Oh, Glenn and Bishop, a couple of guys that played D1 ball. Glenn from North Carolina A&T, and then, well, for Bishop, he's played at a couple of D1 schools as Glenn hits the step-back jumper from beyond the arc in the right wing. Takes a 6-3 lead for the Bruins. 18:10 left to go. Bishop started out at Loyola and then played at UNC Wilmington. So now the Bluefield College Rams have it. Top of the key, Naquan Cousins steps onto the right end, backs it out, looks for a pass, bounces far corner, Jenkins. 10 on the shot clock, entry lob, right block, Donnell Goot steps out, fade away off the glass and in. And that puts Bluefield within one, 6-5 the score with 17:48 left in the first half. Bishop will run the point, standing at 6-1. From Winston-Salem, North Carolina, drives right side, or rather left side, passes top of the key, and a swing out on the right side for Parks. Floats to the basket and misses as he punches it off the backboard. Rebounded for Bluefield by Gooch as he hands it over to Taekwon Reed. North Carolina native bounces onto the right side for Concepcion, swings top of the key. Jenkins fires a three, back iron no good, and a miss goes into the hands of Robert Parks for Piedmont International. Bishop swings far corner, Glenn on a pump fake. Steps into the left elbow and angles a pass top of the key. Bishop jumps for three, too hard off the back iron, and a defensive board for Concepcion. 17:05 left to go, Rams right to left. As Concepcion underhands Taekwon Reed left wing, a hard jump stop into the lane, left block, missed the layup, and into the hands of Piedmont International's Parks. 6-5 the score. Bruins still up as Glenn takes the ball going left to right. Euro step in the lane, scoops a layup, and is fouled as the shot did not fall. That's the second foul of the ball game, and already the second foul on Jeremiah Jenkins with 16:51 left to go in the first half. Now a couple of free throws coming up from Glenn. Scored 21 the last time he played against Bluefield. 17.5 points per game and a 70% free throw shooter. Also had 13 rebounds against Bluefield, and he misses that first free throw of two. So a double-double against the Rams. Of course, the Bruins winning that game 73-62 down in North Carolina. That was back on January 5th. And the ball game for Bluefield, the freshman Trent Dunn from Raleigh, North Carolina, has made kind of a stance for Bluefield this year as the second shot falls for Glenn. 7-5 the score. And Dunn will take up the ball as Jenkins is out. Man-to-man, full-court press going for Piedmont International out of the make. Taekwon Reed has it in the deep right wing. Looks for a new call from Richard Morgan now in his 10th season as the head coach of Bluefield. Dunn swings right wing. Taekwon Reed returns left wing. Concepcion. 10 on the shot clock. A hip-high dribble. Zips into the near corner for Trent Dunn. One arms a pass to Cousins. 5 on the shot clock now. Into the right wing. Concepcion and a jab step. Swings far corner. Taekwon Reed hangs up a prayer at the buzzer and misses off the right end of the rim. Rebounded by Glenn. Coast to coast he goes. Under the basket. Layup. No foul called. And it was tipped out of the air by Cousins into the hands of Concepcion for Bluefield. Concepcion feeds Reed. Angles in the lane. Chucks a layup. It's good with a foul. Rams benefiting off of the officials' idea to let this game play out. Now for Bluefield, they have a chance to take the lead here at 7-7. Curtis Coleman checking in for Piedmont International, as well as Antoine Robinson. Robinson, the senior from Jacksonville, North Carolina, and Coleman, another guy coming from Winston-Salem. So Joseph Howard in his second year as the head coach of the Bruins, really trying to tap into that Winston-Salem market. And you see the same thing with Bluefield, always going down to North Carolina. As Taekwon Reed completes the and one with that free throw, makes it 8-7. Bluefield going with a full court press and now into the backcourt. A big pass from Kendall Oliver across the timeline up to his forward in China Jones. So Jones returns at the logo for Glenn. 15:55 left to go in the first half. Rams lead by 1. Glenn swings a pass into the left wing. Gay has it for Curtis Coleman. Coleman works to the right off of a screen, top of the arc, and swings a pass out to Jones far corner. Dribbles left baseline, scoops with the right hand, and misses off of the end of the backboard. And Bluefield pulls it down, courtesy Gooch. Good backdoor cut for Naquan Cousins, who jumps up and destroys the rim with two hands. 10-7 the score. Another dunk from Bluefield's most elite dunker. Now into the front court, Bluefield pressuring that pass, and a foul is called. Rams wanted that one to be a clean steal, but instead another foul called on Bluefield, and the first one for Taekwon Reed, a team third, as opposed to just one for Piedmont International. 15:24 left to go. Glenn bounces in for a new guard in, and Curtis Coleman, who has it at that NAIA logo on the left wing. Drives to the right side, off a screen, pops from the right elbow, front rim, miss. Taekwon Reed, another board. Pressured in the backcourt, angles his way onto the left wing, and on a crossover, waits for everybody to come join him. Concepcion all alone in the lane, layup, rattles out. He had a good step there as he stepped past those two defenders, and the ball just popped out of the rim. Here's Glenn for Piedmont International. His pass onto the left side has it for Coleman, or rather that's Jones, who passes onto the other side for Robinson. Bounces top of the key. Glenn at the free throw line. Passes right wing. A three for Coleman. Back iron miss. Foul called on Piedmont International. That's going to go on China Jones, who's on the left block and draped over the back of Donnell Gooch. Second foul called on Piedmont International, and the first on China Jones. Now new substitutes in for Piedmont International. Haishim Weston, the freshman guard from Winston-Salem, comes in. And for Bluefield, a fresh face, Francisco Williams. Remember that last game he had here against Point? Bluefield was able to really use Williams to his favor as well as their own favor, as Williams had a destructive dunk right there at the end of the ball game against Point. 10-7 the score. Taekwon Reed into the left wing. Passes left block. Williams tries to back it in. Instead, sips top of the key. Cousins rises and connects on a triple. 13-7 Bluefield leads. 14:23 left to go. Down to the front court for Piedmont International. Curtis Coleman on a crossover. Steps onto the left side. Dribbles over and a pass. Top of the key. Here comes Weston. Flares a pass down low. Swatted out by Williams. Somehow Piedmont International has it back. Glenn at the top of the key with 8 on the shot clock. Drives left on Dunn. Step back three from the left wing. No foul called. He missed the free throw, and Cousins pulled down the board to return it back in for Jorge Concepcion. 13:55 left to go in the first half. Rams with a 6-point lead. Concepcion flares a pass left wing. Taekwon Reed drives to the right, and a foul called on Piedmont International. Justin Poitras, the freshman from Birmingham, into the game and tried to muscle his way out of a screen and did so illegally. Now Keon Jones checks into the game. Underhands out to Trent Dunn right near the timeline. 13:42 left to go in the first half. Rams with a 13-7 lead. Trent Dunn, the freshman guard from Raleigh, North Carolina, and some chippiness down low as Dunn drove in, and a foul is called on Glenn this time for Piedmont International. Tried to reach in. You have some yelling from Richard Morgan, trying to encourage his players to be mentally tough. And now Francisco Williams is in the face of Glenn and now has to turn onto the right side out. So the Rams have 20 on the shot clock now after the foul. That's the fourth foul called on Piedmont International in the first half, and the first one called on Glenn. Officials trying to get this game under control with 13:34 left in the first half. I don't know, a small crowd here in Bluefield. A lot of folks taking that 3-day weekend to their advantage. And looks like a flagrant will be called on Piedmont International. Rams have to decide who's going to shoot this ball. Officials have yet to decide here. Jorge Concepcion will shoot the one free throw for Bluefield. And Glenn is still in the game. Concepcion eyes the rim, one of the better free throw shooters for Bluefield. Already has a three, and his free throw right through the net to make it 14-7. That doubles the score of Piedmont International with 13:34 left to go. And amidst the confusion, it looks like Bluefield will have the ball back after that foul was called on Glenn. So inbounds on the left side of the basket. Trent Dunn will do it for Bluefield as the Rams set up in a straight line at the free throw line. Dunn slaps the ball, ready to pass it in over his head. Now has to waste some time, chucks it out left wing. Taekwon Reed jumped up to get it with 13.5 minutes left to go in the first half. Goes to the right off a screen, rises for three, can't count it. Front rim, followed a shot into the lane, scoops left hand, no good as he hits the ground hard off of a foul. Good effort there by Taekwon Reed. You could tell right off of his fingertips that that was going to be a short shot, and it bounced off the front of the rim right into the guard from Goldsboro, North Carolina's hands. Now he goes to the line. 14-7 the score, 13:23 left to go in the first half. Rams trying to avenge a loss to Piedmont International from back on January 5th, 73-62. Josh Howard's team taking Bluefield for a bit of a ride in the first half of that last game as Taekwon Reed misses that free throw. Actually outscored the Rams 39-24 in that first matchup, and the Rams outscored the Bruins in the second half 38-34. But if you do a quick math equation there, you realize that that's not enough as Reed hits the second of two. 15-7 the score. Rams with an 8-point lead. Defensive pressure really working for Bluefield. Now Piedmont International into the front court. A jump stop layup good for Weston. Had a triple pump on it as he went to the right block and kissed it off the glass. It's good. 15-9 the score. Rams taking the ball right to left courtesy Trent Dunn, who's in for Jeremiah Jenkins, who already has 2 fouls. Our chest pass near corner. Taekwon Reed hoping for someone to get open, and a foul is called down low. That's going to go on Jones. So that'll be Jones' first foul. He was tied up with Francisco Williams. 6th foul for Piedmont International. You can see the Bruins here start to lose their focus. After the Rams had a couple of quick fouls to start out, they have now fallen behind in that department to Piedmont International. 6 fouls to 3. As Taekwon Reed goes from the right elbow, shoots from 15, right in. 17-9 the score. Rams back up by 8. 12:50 left to go in the first half. Here comes Weston. Passes near wing and returns it back to him from Robinson. Around the arc they go as now Coleman has it at the logo. Matched up in a man-to-man from Trent Dunn. Goes to the right, gets a screen onto the left side. Step back pass to Glenn in the corner. Bounces back to Coleman into the lane. Great Euro step. Can't finish the layup though even after that nifty move. Rebounded for Bluefield. Now going right to left. 17-9. Concepcion has it. Stutter step onto the right side of the paint. His layup no good. Put back can't fall from Williams, but a foul is called under the basket on Piedmont International. Francisco Williams will go to the line now. Tried to go for the stick back. It wasn't close, but instead Curtis Coleman was pushing him. So that'll bring the big man to the line. A transfer from Armstrong State University. Senior standing in at 6'8" from Queens, New York. 17-9 the score. First free throw. Nothing but net. So Naquan Cousins goes onto the right side of the paint as the buzzer sounds, and Bluefield brings a new man in, and Brandon Shields, the freshman from Fairmont Senior High School in West Virginia. 18-9 the score. Rams trying to go up by 10. And they can't as Williams misses the free throw. Naquan Cousins jumps up for the rebound, and a foul is called, a technical foul on the assistant coach for Piedmont International. And another technical. They have ejected the assistant coach. And the officials have already lost some sort of control here. So Bluefield will have a couple of shots after this technical just in the first half. 18-9 the score. And you got to remember, folks, we're playing in a pretty quiet gym. It's not Cameron Indoor Stadium. So whatever you say on the sideline, the refs are going to hear it with clarity. And Josh Howard is not excited about that either. And another technical. So they've called 3 technicals on Piedmont International. This is getting pretty ugly very quickly. So Jorge Concepcion's going to have a number of shots here. Got to remember, there was already one earlier. So 3 technical fouls. Jorge Concepcion will shoot his first free throw, flicks the wrist, rattles around, swirls in, it's good. So 19-9 the score. The officials blew the whistle again. Not sure if they called another technical foul. And this is not an officiating crew we're incredibly used to, but now as it continues here, Piedmont International already playing a very frustrated early 7.5 minutes. Officials still talking this over with Josh Howard. Of course, was an NBA All-Star back in 2007, played with the Dallas Mavericks, played in the NBA Finals against the Miami Heat. A couple of ACC greats in Josh Howard and Richard Morgan talking this one over. Of course, Richard Morgan from the University of Virginia back in the late 80s, and Josh Howard playing right before we saw Chris Paul down in Winston-Salem in a Demon Deacons jersey. So Concepcion, after this long conference here, there's now 10 fouls on Piedmont International, so Bluefield is in the double bonus. Concepcion shoots again, Rattles around, and it falls through the net. So 20-9 the score. Rams take an 11-point lead. This will be his third free throw. And it appears that Josh Howard has just gone to the water fountain to take a drink away from his own bench. Doesn't seem evident that he's ejected, but right now he's not on his own bench as Concepcion misses the third free throw. 21-9 the score. Now his fourth. This time it goes in again, 22-9. Another free throw, as this has become a farce. Concepcion hits another free throw, 23-9 the score. Still at the free throw line, number 6, yes. He's got one more free throw. And he missed it. 24-9 the score. Rams up by 15 points. And it appears Bluefield will have the ball. 24-9 the score. Josh Howard, it seems, has been ejected. 12:20 left to go in the first half. 10 fouls for Piedmont International. A bouquet of technicals handed out by the official. I watch a lot of basketball in my life, folks, but I'm not incredibly sure that I've ever seen a coach get ejected this early. Maybe in baseball. And now the official calling for a timeout on the floor with a minute left so these teams can just talk about this. So there have been 2 ejections. The head coach for Piedmont International, Josh Howard, as well as an assistant yet to be named, have left the floor. So they're down to one of their last assistants now into the locker room. 24-9 the score, 12:10 left to go. Trent Dunn passes right wing, Jorge Concepcion. 24-9, Bluefield dominating so far after the big amount of technicals as Williams angles his way for a 17-footer. No good, and a foul is called on Concepcion, who drove in on Tamir Glenn. And the rebounding effort. And now a new platoon of Piedmont International players checking in. So the Rams lead 24-9. That's bringing you to where we are. A flurry of fouls now called on this team from Piedmont International. So 10-4 as far as fouls go. Under the basket, a shot is no good from Kendall. Oliver drove into the lane, and a foul is called on Brandon Shields. First foul called on Brandon Shields. 11:55 left to go in the first half. 24-9 the score. A pass coming up from Robert Parks, who made the start for Piedmont International. A couple of pump fakes and gives over to in the far corner for Glenn. Matched up with Dunn. Starts to skate out towards the logo at the top of the key. 11:50 left in the first half. Glenn goes to the right off of a screen. Pumps a 3. Swirls out. No good. Brandon Shields gets the rebound. Underhands Williams in the backcourt, and Bluefield has it back. Going right to left, here comes Trent Dunn across the timeline and stops onto the left wing. Tries to back in on Glenn, who swatted the ball away for a second. Dunn onto the left side. Layup is too hard, but a foul is called again. Good job by Trent Dunn recognizing that lane he had to the rim and got fouled in the process. That'll be the second foul called on China Jones. And 2 shots for Trent Dunn. Trent Dunn's breakout game for Bluefield here at home, at least, was against St. Andrews, where he scored a timely 11 points in that second half, as well as the overtime. Misses the first free throw. Taekwon Ree comes into the game, and Justin Poitras returns in. China Jones goes out as Jorge Concepcion will ride the pine for Bluefield. 11:28 left to go, 24-9. Rams, majority of their points have came from free throws, especially in these last couple of minutes. As Trent Dunn hits the second shot, 25-9 the score. Rams leading by 16. Driving the ball up, it'll be Parks right across the timeline, trying to go coast to coast. Swings a pass far corner, and now returns top of the key. Glenn for three, nowhere close as it's bounced back out to him. Tries to feed down low, off of the hands of Poitras for Piedmont International. Now the officials are going to talk this one over as to who the ball will be staying with, and yes, Piedmont International. Colton Bishop back on the floor as well for Piedmont International, 25-9 the score. Glenn bounces into Poitras, returns Glenn near corner, and he's pressured out of bounds by Trent Dunn. So another turnover for Piedmont International in a game that has gotten so ugly so quickly. 11:15 left to go in the first half. Trent Dunn walking the ball right across the logo on a crossover, matched up with Glenn. One arm pass into the right wing for Brandon Shields, who returns Dunn at the timeline. Crossover dribble, now jumps for the layup, misses as it went under the rim. And now an outlet up to Glenn, straight to the hoop, count it. 25-11, 10:50 left to go. Trent Dunn running the point for Bluefield as Jenkins has two fouls. 10:45 left to go. Trent Dunn, chest pass near side. Brandon Shields in the corner, returns top of the key. Cousins tries to muscle out for some space as he passes onto the side for Reed around the arc. Now Shields in the far corner, bounces right wing with 10 on the shot clock for Francisco Williams. Chest pass top of the key. Cousins fires and misses the triple, and a rebound is going to go for Glenn, but a foul called before, and Poitras was draped over the back of Francisco Williams. So now another foul called on Piedmont, even after the missed three. They had a good defensive possession there, and you can tell that there is some sort of havoc for Piedmont International as far as their defense goes, but they just can't stay out of foul trouble. So that's the second foul called on Poitras. Williams flicks the wrist, rattles around, count it. 26-11 the score. Rams leading by 15, 10:28 left to go in the first half. Naquan Cousins runs out towards the sideline, and Jorge Concepcion back into the game. Now for Francisco Williams, finally determined eligible by the NAIA in that game against Point, hits both free throws. 27-11, timeout called by Piedmont International. 16-point lead for the Rams with 10:28 left to go in the first half. Back into the game, two coaches already ejected for Piedmont International. Rams leading 27-11 after those fouls were just called in a bunch on Piedmont International as the Bruins have the ball back, going left to right here at the Dome. Colton Bishop pressured in this midcourt press, and he swings it out into the front court for Demir Glenn. The scrappy guard passes top of the key. It's tipped and stolen by Taekwon Reed. Rams have it back with a 16-point lead, going right to left. Reed feeds near corner Trent Dunn, who jogs his way up towards the top of the key. Makes his dribble back up, passes left elbow Concepcion. Goes to the right off a screen at the right elbow and now drops back into the right wing. 10 minutes left to go in the first half as Concepcion fires a fadeaway air ball. Reached and rebounded by Francisco Williams, but his pass is tipped out the backcourt and a foul called by Trent Dunn, or on Trent Dunn, as he went to the floor trying to snatch that away from Tamir Glenn. So Glenn will go to the floor and go to the sideline as well. Already the 6th foul called on Bluefield. First foul on the freshman Dunn. Donnell Gooch into the game for Brandon Shields. 27-11, 9:54 left to go. Full court press coming up as Colton Bishop out of the double team passes around to Robert Park, still in the backcourt as Bishop has it on a left-handed dribble. North Carolina native walks it across the timeline up against Taekwon Reed. Passes near side for Robinson, or rather that's Kendall Oliver, who drives into the lane, lost the ball at first, and then kissed it off the glass with the right hand, 27-13. You can tell there's a lot of athleticism for Piedmont International, and you really could deem that as the reason why they probably got the better of Bluefield in the last time they played back on January 5th. Taekwon Reed into the right wing, a step back, far corner 2, bounces off the right end of the rim, rebound Donnell Gooch, stick back can't fall, tip back towards the rim by Concepcion, and that can't go either. Rebounded by Parks for Piedmont International, feeds onto the far side, back for Oliver, swings a pass, and the right wing 3 goes for Curtis Coleman from the corner. 27-16, an 11-point lead for Bluefield now after the triple fell for Curtis Coleman, the freshman from Winston-Salem. Trent Dunn on a high right-handed dribble, tries to bounce it down low, instead overheads to Francisco Williams. He's blocked by Coleman. Now dribbling on the floor, Williams tries to wrestle it away from Parks, and a jump ball is called. 13 seconds on the shot clock, and now that will not matter. Possession arrow points the way of the Bruins. Naekwon Cousins back into the contest. Francisco Williams now goes onto the bench. 8:46 left to go. Jeremiah Jenkins back into the game for Trent Dunn. Jenkins with those 2 fouls early took about a 10-minute break from the game. 8:46 left to go in the first half. A full court press. Bluefield's trying to combat these speedy guards for Piedmont International. Colton Bishop will take the ball up with a 27-16 deficit looming for Piedmont International. A little over 8.5 minutes to go. Overhead pass for Kendall Oliver. Has it in the right wing. Cousins reaches in on him. Passes far corner for Parks. Parks puts it back on the deck, swings top of the key. Bishop, Rams swarming that defense right up towards the perimeter. 8 on the shot clock. Bishop fires a long 3, misses from pro length, and Cousins traps the ball with his hands on a defensive rebound. Bluefield going right to left. Jeremiah Jenkins into the left wing, hopes for space, and he'll get some on a Donnell Gooch screen. Pumps a 3, count it. 30-16, first triple of the game for Jeremiah Jenkins. 14-point lead for Bluefield. 8:03 left to go in the first half. Rams leading by 14 over Piedmont International. On a right-handed dribble, here's Parks. Swings it left wing, Kendall Oliver. Naekwon Cousins in a size mismatch with the guard for this team in Piedmont International as his pass is picked away by Concepcion. Rams have it back. Taekwon Reed gallivants his way to the free throw line. Passes top of the key, or rather onto the far corner for Jeremiah Jenkins, who crosses it over back into the deep right wing. Overheads a pass, Taekwon Reed, top of the key. Passes near corner, Concepcion. Shot clock going down now to 12. Donnell Gooch bounces in the paint for Taekwon Reed. Angles his way for a layup, and a good defense by the Bruins made him miss. Here's Parks, underhands Oliver, jumps for 3, swish. 30-19, the score, an 11-point lead now for Bluefield, and Kendall Oliver is trying to get the Bruins back in it. He's all fired up. 7:08 left to go in the first half. Jeremiah Jenkins swings top of the key. Cousins. Rams working around the arc, trying for the backdoor cut as the pass is almost stolen from Concepcion to Jeremiah Jenkins. Point guard for Bluefield has it off a crossover, jumps and scores. Big time tray for the sophomore from the 7-5-7. 33-19, 6:50 left to go in the first half. Now taking the ball up left to right, it's Curtis Coleman who starts to skate it back out deep into the left wing. Rams defense has been tough when they have been able to combat the speed of Piedmont International. Parks far corner, lost the ball, clean strip from Taekwon Reed. Rams going 3-on-2, bounces to Naekwon Cousins, jumps for the dunk, and gets everybody in the dome on their feet. Second jam of the game for Naekwon Cousins, 35-19. 6:19 left to go in the first half. Colton Bishop jumps onto the right side, angles his way for a layup. He missed, letting them play, and a rebound for Taekwon Reed. Rams with it back going right to left, and now a whistle, and a foul is called on Colton Bishop. Another technical. And Bluefield will shoot and also have the ball. So this is about the 5th or 6th technical that has been called on Piedmont International. Jeremiah Jenkins into the game, and he is deemed the best free throw shooter on the team, shooting north of 80% with a 35-19 lead. Shoots and misses. So after the first free throw can't go, he'll have another one. Rams will also have the ball. 6:08 left to go. A technical foul called on Colton Bishop. That's his first. And Jeremiah Jenkins hits the second. So Bishop leaves, and Haishim Weston checks into the game. Kendall Oliver walks off. Tamir Glenn is back in as well for Piedmont International. Rams will pass it in on the near sideline in front of the Piedmont bench. Taekwon Reed passes towards the logo. Jenkins with 6:05 left to go. Jenkins test pass right wing. Taekwon Reed angles his way. Tries to drop back at the top of the key. On a crossover, entry lob, Donnell Gooch backs in the lane, chucks with the right hand, and misses, but a foul is called in the process. That'll send the big man to the line for Bluefield. Another foul called on the Bruins. That'll be on Curtis Coleman, his second. Bluefield has been in the double bonus for about 6 or 7 minutes now. After all of those technicals were called, Donnell Gooch fires a free throw. Nothing but net. 37-19 the score. Rams going for their 13th win of the season, while the Piedmont International Bruins need to come back to try to find their 8th. Gooch flicks the wrist, count them both. 38-19 the score after the big man from Raleigh, North Carolina, or Wendell, North Carolina to be exact, hits both free throws into the front court, and now the ball is tipped out of bounds off of the hands of Bluefield as Curtis Coleman lost it. And he will pass it in on the left side of the basket. His team down 38-19. Rams have already doubled the score of Piedmont International. Coleman passes onto the far side. Almost went out of bounds, but Antoine Robinson saved it. Now backs up towards the far sideline. 5:44 left to go. Robinson passes near wing. Now a three. No good for Coleman. Rebounded by Naquan Cousins, who bumped into his own man of Concepcion. Right to left go the Rams. Jeremiah Jenkins swings it to Reed. Returns Jenkins, who passes top of the key back to Taekwon Reed. Steps out of the defender. Layup no good. Tipped out into the hands of Antoine Robinson. Passes around. A hard zip. Far corner three for Glenn. Too short. Rebound Jorge Concepcion. Lost the ball. Glenn stole it back and had a kiss off the glass reverse layup to go to make it 38-21. 5:10 left to go. Lots of passing for Piedmont International when their offense works, and now met with a midcourt press. Naquan Cousins passes near corner for Taekwon Reed. Loops it into Donnell Gooch. Missed the turnaround jumper from the left baseline. 38-21, the score stays. Here comes Glenn into the right wing. Passes Coleman down the right baseline. Layup doesn't go, and a foul is called on Bluefield. It'll go on Naquan Cousins. Rather, they'll book Donnell Gooch. Either way, that's his first foul. 38-21 the score. Curtis Coleman into the game. Just now joining us, two coaches, including the head coach for Piedmont International, Josh Howard, both ejected after an argument with the officials earlier as Coleman misses the first free throw. It seemed like there was a question over who the fouls were called on, and the first assistant was ejected, and then Josh Howard followed him. So Curtis Coleman eyeing the rim with his second free throw. Missed the first, score stays at 38-21. Francisco Williams checks into the game. Cheerleading team in for Bluefield after their big trip down to Orlando, Florida. And a competition on the Disney's Wide World of Sports. Bends the knees. Coleman's second free throw, this time right through the nylon. 38-22 the score. Both teams in the bonus. Bluefield with the double bonus, and for Piedmont International trying to capitalize off of 1-and-1 shots coming up. 4:45 left to go in the first half. Jenkins passes near wing for Taekwon Reed. Returns top of the key Cousins, who flings it out into the right side for Jeremiah Jenkins. Crafty sophomore passes top of the arc. Taekwon Reed looking for an overhead pass. Instead puts it on the deck and passes Ibafimi. Left baseline. Pump fake. Shoots. And he walked into the paint. So a turnover for Bluefield. Piedmont International trying to capitalize here off of a couple of consistent Rams mistakes. So now a 16-point lead for Bluefield. And taking the ball up, it'll be Antoine Robinson. Left to right go the Bruins. 4:25 left to go. Ibafemi, the senior from Nigeria, stepping up in the defense on the senior from Jacksonville, North Carolina. Glenn has it at the free throw line. Returns Robinson, right wing. Passes Glenn, near corner. Angles a pass, or rather angles his dribble onto the right wing. Spins right elbow, lost the ball. Into the paint it goes, trying to wrestle for it. Jones lost the ball. Naquan Cousins flops to the floor, saves the ball in, still tipped around after the pinball effort. Bluefield has it. Bouncing around nearly everyone on the floor right in front of the Bluefield bench, and the Rams will have the ball back with 4:03 left to go in the first half and a 16-point lead. Here comes Jeremiah Jenkins. Passes over to the right side. Ibafemi, his entry lob is stolen away by Jones. Here comes Robinson, his layup off the glass and in. 38-24, 14-point lead for Bluefield. The Bruins starting to wake up a bit here after the early woes in this game. 3:35 left to go. Taekwon Reed running the point. Hard pass right wing Ibafemi, who's turned the ball over the last 2 times he's had it. Lobs it over into the right corner for Williams. Passes around. Cousins at the top of the key now with it. 10 on the shot clock. Cousins drives right side out of the trap. Steps for a baseline jumper. Rolls away and misses. Robinson pulls down the ball for Piedmont International. Crosses over to the right wing. Underhands Coleman near corner. 3:10 left to go first half. 38-24. Rams lead by 14. Coleman hoping for a screen. He'll try to get it from Jones here at the top of the key. He does. Goes into the defense of Francisco Williams. Out of a double team. Passes top of the key. Weston, who flares it over to Glenn on the left wing. 7 on the shot clock. Glenn, Euro step. Layup. Good. 38-26. Cutting it down to a 12-point game. Rams have led by as much as 19. A 7-0 run for Piedmont International. Jenkins at the top of the arc, dribbles in, passes near corner Cousins, off of a step back, now passes over into the left block for Jenkins, who chucks it out left wing. Taekwon Reed, step back, long 2, no good again, tipped out of bounds, and a foul call before that. As Naquan Cousins really clotheslined Tamir Glenn there. And now 38-26 the score remains. With 2:28 left to go in the first half, that will send Glenn to the line in a 1-and-1. Jeremiah Jenkins and Curtis Coleman exchanging words. And Glenn will go to the line in a 1-and-1. Ibafemi onto the bench now. Concepcion back into the game. 2:28 left to go. Tempers playing in the first half, and we got a whole nother half of basketball to play. Glenn eyeing the rim, flicks the wrist. It goes. 38-27. At one point, it was 38-19. 8-0 run continues for Piedmont International. Glenn eyes the rim, shoots, and scores. Make it 9-0 run. Little under 2.5 minutes to play. Rams have it in the backcourt. Jeremiah Jenkins wants everybody to help him in the front court as he chucks the ball around with Taekwon Reed. Now has it in the front court. Reed has it at the logo. Passes near wing. Cousins for 3. Swish. Ending the run. 41-28. Back to a 13-point lead for Bluefield. 2:08 left to go in the first half. Coleman has it. Passes right side. Jones returns Coleman right wing. And Jones now steps it back up towards the bench headed by Richard Morgan. Under 2 minutes to play. Coleman steps into the lane. Right block layup. Off the glass. Rims out. Rebound Williams. Underhands Taekwon Reed with 1:50 left to go in the first half. Taekwon Reed out of a trap. Passes Jenkins. Passes near corner. Cousins for 3. Misses the second try he had in the past 2. So 41-28. 1:40 left to go in the first half. Rebounded by Glenn for Piedmont International. Rams back in that defense. Francisco Williams stepping up on Glenn now. Passes far side. Back to Antoine Robinson. Dishes Weston. Dish down low to Jones. He misses off the left block. Here comes Jorge Concepcion going right to left with 1:20 left to go. Concepcion hit a couple of early threes. Rams have led by as much as 19 now with the 13-point lead that got down to 10. Jenkins on a crossover. Fires a long 2. Top of the arc. Miss. Rebound Piedmont International courtesy Curtis Coleman. 1 minute left to go in the first half. 41-28. And for the first time, we see Piedmont International try to slow it down. Clock is down to 53 seconds. Coleman passes far side for Robinson. Onto that corner, goes into a double team. Francisco Williams pressuring him out towards the logo. Robinson steps in the lane, right wing layup, no good. Rebound Jones, second putback, can't stick it. Cousins got a piece of the block there on that layup. Outlets up to Concepcion, left wing, steps in the lane, jumps, and scores on a floater. 43-28, back to a 15-point lead. Now a long pass up across the timeline for Weston, who underhands his guard, and Glenn missed the layup, or rather passes to Robinson. Right wing three, no good. Rebound, still wrestling for it, and Cousins came away with the ball. 15 seconds left to go in the first half, and the Rams will slow it down. 43-28. 15-point lead for Bluefield. Clock now down at 7. Jenkins across the timeline, now at the logo. Crossover, 3 seconds, shoots at the buzzer, swirls out, no good, and a rebound for Glenn. That will end it for the first half, 43-28. Eventful first half, to say the least, and a little bit of chippiness right before the end of the half between Coleman and Jenkins. Two coaches have been ejected, and Richard Morgan is talking with the officials to try to clarify what happened, as they could possibly call a foul before they went into the locker rooms. We'll try to clarify that for you for the second half in our halftime update. But as for now, halftime at the Dome, Rams lead 43-28. Welcome back at halftime, everybody. Just about 8 minutes to play before, or 8 minutes left in this halftime before we start up that second half. 43-28 the score. 7 technical fouls called in the first half alone. Bluefield able to capitalize on that. They went to the free throw line 22 times and hit 16 free throws, and they lead by 15, so that's a big deal. Meanwhile, right there at the end, Curtis Coleman called with a technical foul as well as Jeremiah Jenkins. So both teams will shoot to start out the second half. And Bluefield, as well as Piedmont International, losing their discipline right there at the end. Of course, a double ejection for an assistant for Piedmont International as well as the head coach and Josh Howard, of course, an NBA All-Star back in 2007. Well, the Rams lead 43-28. They have only hit 4 threes, shooting 28%, or rather 5 threes, shooting 45%, 5 of 11, as Piedmont International is only shooting 28% from beyond the arc. They're shooting 32% from the field, and the Rams not doing much better at 33%. But that free throw line percentage, 72% for Bluefield, 16 free throws hit for the Rams, as opposed to only 4 of 6 for Piedmont International. 20 rebounds for the Bruins, as opposed to 23 for Bluefield. Already a couple of Rams in double figures. Iquan Cousins has 10 as well as 6 rebounds. And then Jorge Concepcion with 12 points and 4 rebounds. Taekwon Reed kind of struggled there in the first half, tallied up 6 points as he only went 2 of 8 from the field. Jeremiah Jenkins, who got called with that technical right there at the end of the first half, 2 of 5 from the field, and it's racked up 7 points. And for Bluefield, they will just try to keep on going at the free throw line and see if this game gets any better as far as discipline goes into the second half. Just about 7 minutes left before we start play in the second half. It's 43-28, Bluefield leads. Well, it seemed apparent that this half would start out with a double technical, but now my information has betrayed me. So here come the Rams going left to right, 43-28 the score, leading now by 15. Taekwon Reed steps in the lane, right block, layup counted. Taekwon Reed back into the game so quickly and scoring a layup for Bluefield. So now he has 8 points on the day as Colton Bishop Robert Parks takes the ball right to left for this team from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Pass on the left side. Now China Jones dribbles into the lane, onto the right side, spins to the left, pump fake. Shot is blocked by Donnell Gooch. Good start for Bluefield, leading 45-28. They've led by as much as 19 in this one. As for Piedmont International, they have led only once by 3 points. Taekwon Reed shoots from the left elbow, good. First 4 points of the second half, all falling for the senior from Goldsboro, North Carolina. Now 47-28, Bluefield looking good so far here. Going onto the right side, Glenn, one of the better players for Piedmont International. Now with it, left baseline, Bishop jumps and floats, he misses. Jorge Concepcion pulled down the board. Rams up by 19 once again. Trent Dunn onto the left wing, jumps for the left, reverse, no good. Off of the backboard and bouncing out, but a foul is called on Piedmont International. So that is going to go on China Jones. That's his third. And already Bluefield goes to the line with 18:45 or 54 left to go in this game. Trent Dunn to the line. He's already been a few times today. And 1 of 2 at the free throw line. Now make it 2 of 3. So 48-28, Rams had that lead cut all the way down to 10 points. Is now checking in for them. It's Justin Poitras. And now 20-point lead, and Trent Dunn makes it 21. Hits both free throws. 49-28, and now a midcourt press out of a double team. Bishop swings across the court to Parks, who passes in the corner for Kendall Oliver, who stepped onto the sideline. Another turnover for Piedmont International, who, if you're just now joining us, had 2 coaches ejected, including their head coach in Josh Howard. 49-28, 18:44 left to go in the game. Rams leading by 21, a team that they lost by 11 to back early in the month. Concepcion from the left wing dribbles onto the left elbow, steps back along 2, right down the middle and in. 51-28, big time 8-0 run for Bluefield to start out in the second half. 18.5 minutes to play. Here comes Parks, lost the ball, dribbled onto the far sideline, barely picked it up, and one arms it towards the logo for Tamir Glenn, the D1 transfer from NC-A&T. On a step back, underhands Poitras, who gives it right back to Glenn. Thought about a step back 3, tries again. On the double clutch, he missed. Rebounded by Concepcion for Bluefield. 51-28, 23-point lead for the Rams. Taekwon Reed passes top of the arc, Concepcion, who gives it back over to Naquan Cousins, who is in double figures with 10 points in this one. Trent Dunn passes onto the left side. Taekwon Reed misses from 15 onto the front end of the rim. Rebounded by Glenn. Outlet, Kendall Oliver. Euro step towards the hoop. Missed the layup. He's stripped by Concepcion. No foul called. Rams going back left to right. Right down the side of the paint. Fires from 11. Rams home. 53-28, 25-point lead for Bluefield. A 10-0 run to start out the second half. 17.5 minutes remaining in the game. Colton Bishop passes left wing for Glenn. These two guys have to get into it if these guys want to come back, as Bishop jumps to the rim and scores with contact. Once again, no foul called. 53-30, 23-point lead for Bluefield as Trent Dunn angles it back towards the logo. 17-10 left to go in this one as Taekwon Reed feeds into Naquan Cousins, steps in the lane, step back, 5-footer off of the back iron into the hands of Oliver for Piedmont International. Right to left go the Bruins. Here's Glenn on a hard crossover, steps in the lane, blocked but fouled on Naquan Cousins. So Bluefield with the ball for most of the second half already, have already scored 10 points. And only one shot has fallen so far for Piedmont International, courtesy Colton Bishop. First shot for Glenn, swish. 53-31. Oh, for Tamir Glenn now with 13 points. And 4 of 5 from the free throw line. Meanwhile, a quick pause on the court to let Donnell Gooch tie his shoes. 53-31, 22-point lead. Missed by Glenn on the second try, rebounded by Taekwon Reed. Reed running the point for Bluefield. Jeremiah Jenkins not on the floor. And into the front court goes Taekwon Reed from the left wing. Into the paint, bobble the ball, trying to trace it down, and he couldn't as he swung the ball back in, but it was too late. 53-31, 16:48 on the clock. 22-point lead for the Rams. Going right to left, here comes Glenn. From the top of the key, dribbles onto the right elbow. A stutter step, steps back, passes top of the arc. Oliver, pump fake, swings near corner for Parks, who walked. Tried to move the ball around and dragged a foot in the process to separate himself from Jorge Concepcion. Bluefield with the ball back as Naquan Cousins bounces into Dunn. 53-31, 16 and a half minutes to play from a first half that saw 7 technical fouls. Dunn underhands Taekwon Reed, who does the same with Concepcion. Drives left paint, scoops and scores. 55-31, 24-point lead for Bluefield. Everything falling for the Rams so far in this first half. Entry lob, right block to Poitras. Dribbles onto the right baseline, under the basket now. Tries to muscle for space, jumps and misses on the layup. Rebound Bishop, floats and scores on the putback. 55-33, 22-point lead for Bluefield. They have led by as much as 19 in the first half, and now dominating in the second half. They've led by as much as 25. Dunn feeds Reed right wing. On a step, goes into the lane. Open layup, no, it went in, but foul is called on the floor before that. Now Bluefield banking off the third foul for Piedmont International, and the first one called on Oliver in the whole ball game. It'll be an inbounds pass for Trent Dunn on the right side of the basket. Dunn slaps the ball, looks to pass the ball in, and feeds it into Concepcion. Fadeaway right baseline, too hard. Tipped straight into the air by Donnell Gooch. Tip back out. Swatted over to Donnell Gooch. Feeds down low to Trent Dunn. Angles a shot. Counted as the ball rolls from the front end of the rim and into the nylon. 57-33. 24-point lead. Robert Parks calls a timeout, and Bluefield has came out guns a-blazing in the second half, leading big time over Piedmont International with 15 and a half minutes to play. Back into the game we go after the timeout called by Piedmont International. Rams lead 57-33. Colton Bishop, the guard, in for Piedmont International. Bounces top of the key. Kendall Oliver, who swings it into the left wing. Back for Glenn. Glenn, the real star for Piedmont International, off a crossover. Loops up a three from the left wing. No good on a miss. Gooch outlets for Taekwon Reed. Flares it past Naquan Cousins. Jump stop in the lane. Jumps. Misses the shot. Rebounded by Robert Parks, who swings it over the timeline for Bishop. Into the right wing. Passes near corner for Kendall Oliver. Drives left baseline. Euro step. Bounces off of the backboard and in. 57-35. A 22-point lead for Bluefield, who is led now by as much as 25 points. 14:55 left to go in the game. Rams lost to this team by 11 their last time out, and they're now trying to get back on the winning track after a conference loss on Saturday as Taekwon Reed jumps from the left wing and misses a three. Pulled down by Glenn for Piedmont International. Zooms the ball, Parks across the timeline, underhands near corner. Oliver, who swats the ball away from Trent Dunn, picks it back up and bounces over towards Tamir Glenn right in front of his own bench. 14 and a half minutes to play. 57-35 the score. Here comes Glenn into the lane. Passes left wing with 10 on the shot clock. Kendall Oliver, left-handed dribble under the basket. Shoots a layup. No good. Rebound, Donnell Gooch. Had the size mismatch there. Who passed to Concepcion, who wasn't looking. Park stole it away. Fires a three and misses. Another rebound for Donnell Gooch, who now gives it to Trent Dunn, who was really expecting the ball that time. 14:05 left to go. 57-35. Trent Dunn walking the ball across the timeline. Jeremiah Jenkins called with a technical his last time before the second or the first half ended. Trent Dunn underhands Concepcion, dribbles right elbow, shoots, front rim miss, rebound Glenn on a crossover effort. Has it across the timeline, dribbles into the left wing. Bluefield's defense gets back quickly, but Glenn bounces right block, going for Poitras, who fires and scores right in front of the basket. Makes it a 20-point game at 57-37, Rams leading by 20. 13 and a half minutes to go, 13:33 to be exact and counting, as Trent Dunn takes the ball across the timeline, jogs left wing, underhands Concepcion, who walked, was hoping for Taekwon Reed to break back in, and that moment of doubt dragged his right foot. So now the ball goes back into the hands of the Bruins with 13:26 remaining in the game, 57-37. Thanks to all of you tuning in here on the Rams Digital Sports Network. We will be back in the Dome on January 26th against Truett-McConnell. But then after that, 4 straight road contests for Bluefield. Union, Allen, Reinhardt, as well as Tennessee Wesleyan. Now ball bounces into the backcourt. Now taking it up, it will be a new guard in, and Antoine Robinson. So Robinson walking the ball across the timeline, stepped up into the defense from Taekwon Reed. Brandon Shields now on the floor. He's matched up with Weston, who carries the ball into the lane, and he's fouled. Called on Donnell Gooch. It'll be the 4th team foul, or rather the 3rd team foul on Bluefield, and should be the 2nd on Donnell Gooch. So both teams with 3 fouls. It's a shooting foul for Weston. Naisheem Weston misses 2 short off the front end of the 2 shots. 13:11 left to go. Francisco Williams back into the game. Jorge Concepcion takes a quick breather. Brandon Shields goes to the bench, and Naquan Cousins seems to be a bit shaken up. Now goes to his own bench. Here's Weston. Throws the ball around in his hand, shoots, and scores. 57-38. Rams started out on a 10-0 run in the second half, but now we're starting to see Piedmont International attempt to climb back. Still a 19-point lead for Bluefield, though, with 13 minutes to play. Trent Dunn on a right-handed dribble, zooms it into the near corner, Concepcion. Pressured by Robinson, 15 on the shot clock. Concepcion wants help. Nobody's cutting here as he puts it on the deck and passes top of the key. Dunn returns right wing, Concepcion. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Concepcion, entry lob, Francisco Williams, right elbow, feeds Donnell Gooch, who jumps to the rim and rocks it home. 59-38, a patient possession for Bluefield College, and their lead is back up to 21. 12 and a half minutes to go. Donnell Gooch was all alone as he jumped about 5 feet to the rim. Here comes a shot from Coleman from the deep right wing on a long 2, and it bounces over the rim and now is stuck between the glass and the shot clock. So we'll need a new ball in, as we'll have to worry about that ball until right now when Concepcion just flares it up and pops it out. That's the first time I've seen a ball get stuck there, and we'll see if they remember to reset the shot clock. 12:24 left to go in the game. And they do reset the shot clock as Donnell Gooch bounces into Trent Dunn. 59-38. Rams up in this NCCAA matchup. Trent Dunn passes right wing Taekwon Reed, who had a quiet first half but got the second half started off with a bang. Now tied up down low, Francisco Williams and Colton Bishop. We'll see will this foul be called. It's going to go on Bishop. Another foul called on Bishop. Second foul called on the guard for Piedmont International. A man-to-man defense for the Bruins. 59-38, 12-12 left to go. Onto the right inbounds, it'll be Trent Dunn. Passes to Williams, underhands Dunn. Back on the baseline, dribbles into the lane, lost the ball, saved in bounds by Weston for Piedmont International. Here comes Robinson in the front court for Piedmont International, down by 21, 59-38, 12 minutes to play. Bishop lifts it up top of the key. Weston drives in, underhands onto the right side. Coleman Coleman bounces left wing. Back up to Coleman onto the top of the key. Now for Bluefield. And they do another great defensive stance here as Coleman bounces right wing Bishop. 8 seconds left on the shot clock. Still ticking down. Bishop has to retreat back out. Shot clock is at 3. Has to chuck up a prayer. And it swirls out. It almost went in. Rebounded Taekwon Reed. Outlets Concepcion all alone under the basket. Count the layup. 61-38. 11 and a half minutes to play. Now a whistle. And making sure the shot clock is correct. And for Jorge Concepcion, he has now surpassed the 1,000-point mark in his Bluefield college career. It's a big dap up from Richard Morgan, and a big moment for Jorge Concepcion. I know that his father is watching. Always a big supporter of Bluefield College, and we're glad to have this moment for Jorge Concepcion. So now it's 61-38. Concepcion goes to the bench. 1,000 points in his Bluefield college career. Curtis Coleman bounces into Glenn. That moment for a senior that has done so much for this program in Bluefield College. Coming from 7-5-7. Backs up, Chesapeake, Virginia. Comes Coleman on the right side of the baseline, passing top of the key, Weston drives on the right side of the paint. A foul is called as he stripped into the lane. With 15 seconds on the shot clock, 11-13, game clock, 61-38, 23-point lead for Bluefield. And Weston will go to the line for the second time in the second half. Second foul call on Concepcion. And a fifth one on Bluefield overall. Shot goes for Weston to make it 61-39. Another freshman. This is a young team. Piedmont International trying to build a program down in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. As Weston hits both. 61-40. Coming from East Forsyth High School. A lot of these players for Piedmont International coming from that school. As now Trent Dunn picks up the ball. Outlets across the timeline. It's stolen away by Kendall Oliver. Tips it back into Robinson. Passes far corner. Coleman drives right baseline. Layup counted. 61-42 now the score. 10:55 left to go. Concepcion gets across the midcourt press to Taekwon Reed across the timeline. Overhead to pass free throw line down. Now Gooch returns right wing. Concepcion passes onto the left block, and Williams is pushed as he went up for the short shot. So now he'll go to the line. Senior from Queens, New York will have 2. Trying to add to the 61-42 lead. 10:44 left to go in the game. Rams eyeing their 13th win of the season. This would also be their 8th win at home. Right now, 8-2 inside the confines of the Dome. As Williams shoots, misses the free throw. And if you ask Ryan Moody, who's now in his 3rd season as an assistant coach for Bluefield, he is very excited about Francisco Williams, adding a lot of height, standing at 6'8", and very aggressive down low. Ben Grove, the freshman from Atlanta, Georgia, checking into the game for the first time as Donnell Gooch will be subbed out. Williams fires and scores. 62-42, 20-point lead for Bluefield College. Now going across the timeline, it's Glenn. At the top of the key, steps into the right wing out of a double team and loops a pass at the logo Oliver. Returns over to Glenn, but it's tipped before then. Concepcion bounces left wing. Jenkins back into the game for the first time in the second half. Passes right wing. Taekwon Reed jumps for 3. Swish. 65-43. Great ball movement for Bluefield in transition. 22-point lead for the Rams again. Robinson flares into the right side. Glenn thought about a 3, instead dished it over to Coleman. Fires a 3 himself from the far corner and misses. Concepcion pulls down the defensive board. The guard for Bluefield drives into the lane. Right side, jumps, floats, misses, follows the shot. On the stick back, he converts. 67-42, Concepcion playing his heart out against Piedmont International. Now into the front court. Coleman bounces near corner, fires a 3. Robinson can't get the roll. Rebound Concepcion has a man behind him in Glenn who almost poked the ball loose, but instead the point guard in Jenkins will have it for Bluefield into the right wing with 9:40 left to go. Entry lob to Francisco Williams is tipped out to the logo where Reed picks up the pieces for the Rams. Bounce into the far corner. Concepcion drives left baseline, jumps from 10 and misses. Rebound Glenn for Piedmont International. 67-42, 25-point lead for Bluefield as Glenn goes coast to coast, fouled in the effort, and will go to the line now for 2. 9:27 left to go. 2 shots for Glenn. Third foul called on Jorge Concepcion, who recently passed the 1,000-point mark. First shot for Glenn, in and out. 25-point lead for Bluefield. It went down to 19 just a few seconds ago. Concepcion goes to the bench. Trent Dunn back in. Second shot, and it's good for Glenn. So 67-43. And into the game, it'll be Jordan Gibson. Haven't seen him yet as Weston goes to the bench. 9:27 left to go, and Ben Grove swings the ball onto the far sideline. Jenkins, no-look lob into the front court for Taekwon Reed. Trapped in the left wing, bounces right side. Trent Dunn chucks it in the left block. Francisco Williams, punch off the window. Good for Bluefield, 69-43. 9:13 left to go. Outlet up to Coleman. He jumps from the left block and kisses it off the window as well, 69-45. 9:05 left to go. Trying to get across this midcourt press as Trent Dunn carries the ball across the left side of the timeline. With 8:58 left to go, passes Jenkins. Hard jump pass over to Taekwon Reed at the top of the key. Gives to Francisco Williams. Returns Jenkins on the left wing. The sophomore backs up and now hopes for a receiver on this pass to Trent Dunn. Underhands Taekwon Reed. 5 in the shot clock. Williams feeds Ben Grove. Puts on the deck. Spins left. Has to muscle out a pass. Gives to Jenkins. Shot at the buzzer. Off the rim. And they call a shot clock violation. So it possibly went off the left side of the backboard. No one is arguing for Bluefield, as they lead by 24 anyway with 8.5 minutes to play in the first half. Couple of subs now in. Robert Parks checking back in for Piedmont International. Coleman passes the ball into the backcourt. Antoine Robinson running the point. Tries to zig and zag his way across Trent Dunn, who's in a tight man-to-man now for Bluefield. 8.5 minutes to play. Tries to trap him in front of his own bench. 2 coaches ejected already for Piedmont International as the pass into Gibson is lost and stolen. But as Gibson went to the floor, he was fouled, and that will keep the ball with the Bruins with 8:20 left to go. Foul called on Francisco Williams. 7th foul, and now it'll be a 1-and-1 for Jordan Gibson. So 69-45. Bruins in the black trying to cut down on this large lead for Bluefield. First of a 1-and-1 goes right through. Now 69-46, down to 23. Flick of the right wrist, and he hit them both. 69-47, 8:20 left to play. Rams just 8.5 minutes from their 13th win of the season and a revenge win against Piedmont International. Not a conference matchup, but these two teams can face off in the NCCAA Mid-East Regional if possible. Taekwon Reed dribbles right baseline, scores on the layup. 71-49 now the score. Now a shot onto the left end, no good. Here comes Taekwon Reed, feeds up to Francisco Williams, step in the lane, count the layup. 71-47, Bluefield leads. 7:43 left to go. A quick malfunction of the scoreboard apparently as Curtis Coleman misses the layup. It's 73-47 by the way, and now the ball is tipped out of bounds off of the hands of Piedmont International. 26-point lead for Bluefield, their largest of the game. Jeremiah Jenkins in the backcourt. Takes the ball across the timeline in front of the few Bluefield fans that have made it out. Looks like the baseball team is here, just a month away from the start of their season. Taekwon Reed bounces far corner. Jeremiah Jenkins nods for help, finds it. Francisco Williams pops the left corner 3. Back iron miss. Ranging on the long rebound, Ben Grove. Swings it back to Jenkins into the far corner. Dribbles to the left baseline. Lost the ball off the legs of Ben Grove. Now on the floor trying to swat it away. It goes onto the sideline off the hands of Piedmont's Robert Parks. 7:09 remaining. So the Rams back at home against Truett McConnell this Saturday. But they will have to go down to Columbia in just 2 days for another conference game. 7 minutes left to play. No look pass, Taekwon Reed, right wing, and a foul called down low. Francisco Williams has gotten into the head of some of these power forwards for Piedmont. That foul is going to be called on Kiat Jones. 73-47 the score. And Jeremiah Jenkins will pick it up. So fourth foul called on Piedmont International. Jenkins looking for someone to pass to on the right side, loops the ball up in the air, caught by Williams, and now goes into a backcourt. So Francisco Williams thought he caught the ball in the backcourt, and then he actually caught it in the front court and dished it in the backcourt on an easy backcourt violation, a baffling move for Francisco Williams. His foot was on the line of the midcourt, so now Richard Morgan talking over with him what just happened. Has no sympathy. So Antoine Robinson passes onto the left wing for Weston. Puts the ball onto the deck on a hip-high dribble. Starts to skate towards the top of the key. Dribbles in. Fires a pass onto the right wing. A three ball, no good. That one missed that time from Josh Daniels. Here comes Bluefield. That was Caleb Terrell, actually, as Trent Dunn tries to go coast to coast. Missed the layup. Offensive rebound, Williams. And a jump ball is called. And possession arrow will point the way of Bluefield. 6:37 left to go in this game. Check that. Possession arrow points the way of the Bruins. Rams leading by 26 points. Here's Antoine Robinson. That first half with 7 technical fouls. It has been way more peaceful in the second half, that's for sure. Robinson at the logo on a crossover. Jeremiah Jenkins providing the defensive pressure there. Bounce into the far corner. Now a shot from the right elbow from Weston. Long rebound, Jenkins for Bluefield. 6:10 left to go. Jenkins bounces right wing. Trent Dunn angles it back to Jeremiah Jenkins beyond the arc. Backs it up as Terrell is on him like glue in this man-to-man with 6 minutes left to play. Jenkins drives to the free throw line, fires from 12, bounces around, misses. Rebound Terrell for Piedmont International. Here comes Terrell, swings into the far side for Robinson, passes into the paint. Now a layup missed by Gibson. He had nobody around for about 5 feet. Offensive rebound, Weston, as Bluefield went to the floor for Trent Dunn, and it's 73-49 after the layup goes on the second effort. 5:40 left to go. Rams up by 24 points. Jeremiah Jenkins off of a screen, dribbles into the lane with pressure, loops up a layup off the glass and in. And the sophomore made that look easy. 75-49. Under 5.5 minutes to play. Here comes Weston on a Euro step, loops the ball over the backboard. And that probably should have been called out of bounds. Either way, here comes Bluefield. Bounces into the right wing. Taekwon Reed, step back three. Yes, sir. 78-49. 29-point lead for Bluefield, and they are just running away with it here. Got to imagine Piedmont International with Josh Howard getting ejected so early on. They don't have as great of a game plan. It's been very unorganized. We can tell the athleticism is there as the layup is no good for Jones and the stick back falls for Weston. 78-51. 27-point lead for Bluefield. Here comes Jeremiah Jenkins nonchalantly taking the ball across the far end of the timeline with 4:42 left on the game clock. It's a high ball screen from Ben Grove. Dribbles towards the top of the key. Drives right elbow. Back on a step back three from the right corner, and Jenkins is feeling it. 81-51. Bluefield with their largest lead of the game, hitting the 30 mark. 4:25 left to go. Last 2 home games for Bluefield have been straight triumphs as they won that last one 106-76 against Point. On a left-handed dribble, Weston feeds top of the key. A three, no good for Gibson. Rims out, rebound, Jenkins for Bluefield. 4:07 left to go, left to right. Jenkins dishes right wing Trent Dunn on a shimmy shake move, steps into the lane, fouled on the layup, and now he'll go to the line. Got to remember, Bluefield lost this matchup their last time out. 72-63. Or excuse me, 73-62. What a complete difference this has been. Rams were outscored in that first half of that game, 39-24. And the first free throw is good for Trent Dunn. They only trailed really once in this game, and that was when Piedmont International led by 3 with 18:05 left to go in the first half. Now with their largest lead of the game at 31 points as Trent Dunn hits the free throw, has another one. Brandon Shields into the game, as well as Wes Ayers, another freshman. Trent Dunn takes his time. The freshman shoots and scores. 83-51, 4 minutes left to play. And a 32-point lead for Bluefield. Aisheem Weston dribbles into the right wing for separation, passes top of the key Poithrel, dishes left wing Gibson. On the left elbow, feeds into the near corner, down for Jones, steps into a pass, bounce pass towards Weston at the top of the key, returns for Poithrel, onto the left block, scores with the foul. (83-53) the score, back to a 30-point lead for Bluefield. Once again, now an and one. Try sport, he missed. So it's a 30-point lead for the Rams. Jeremiah Jenkins taking the ball up, 3:35 left to go. And if you're Bluefield, you got to wonder, how did you lose to this team by 11 last time out? As Jenkins misses a three from the top of the arc. Rebound Jones for Piedmont International. Stepping in the lane, Weston to the rim, count it with a foul. (83-55), 3:23 left to play. Olutunji Ibafemi back into the game, trying to get his first points of the contest. Eyeing the rim again. Weston completes the old-fashioned three-point play. 83-56, 27-point lead for Bluefield. Onto the right wing, underhanding Ayers. The freshman, step back three, top of the arc. Rims out. Rebound Terrell for Piedmont International with a little over 3:10 left to play. Here comes Weston onto the right elbow. Chucks it back out for Jones. Dribbles right baseline. Jumps. Misses the shot. Rebound Grove. 3 minutes left to play. Grove tries to take the ball up as he bounces to Jenkins, who has a man behind him. Goes into the right wing. Cross-court lob. Bafemi overheads to Shields into the far corner. Entry lob. Ben Grove steps a bounce pass into Wes Ayers. Shimmy shake into the paint. Stayed away. Good. No good as it rolls out onto the right side. 2:46 left to go in this one. It's been interesting from the start, especially after those 7 technical fouls called in the first half. Now Wes Ayers looks at the rim. A freshman scores for the first time in this game. Hits the free throw. 2:46 left to go. Barring a miraculous comeback, this will be the 13th win of the year for Bluefield as Wes Ayers hits both free throws. 85-56. 29-point lead for Bluefield. And Caleb Terrell takes the ball up for the black and blue. So Terrell into the left wing, underhands Weston near corner, dishes top of the key Jones, around the arc they go. Now with it, Terrell pumps a three, far corner, too hard. Rebound Ben Grove with 2.5 minutes to play. Rams being a bit sloppy in the backcourt as Ibafemi bobbled the ball and did not keep it, gave it up to Jeremiah Jenkins. On a head fake, goes into the left wing, backs out, drives back in, layup, no good. Well, he carried that with the right hand for a long time, rebounded by Terrell. Here comes Weston to the front court, underhands Poithrel, his layup, yes. Tickles the twine to make it 85-58. 2 minutes left to play. Ibafemi will now run the point for Bluefield. A whistle. And will the officials confirm what this call is? And Ben Grove has been bloodied a good amount of times in his short Bluefield career. And it doesn't seem like there's anything immediately wrong with him, but the officials order him to leave. Back into the game goes Trent Dunn. Minute 55 left to go. Gets a screen from Wes Ayers. Drives towards the top of the key. Returns Ayers. Left wing three. Front rim miss. Tipped in the air. Into the Bluefield bench. Gives the ball to the Bruins. Minute 47 left before this one is over. And if you're Piedmont International, you're just waiting for it to end. It has been tough for them from the start after the quick ejection. And now Bluefield gets that revenge after losing to this team by 11 back on January 5th on the road. Minute 37 left to go. Kiat Jones underhands Terrell, top of the key, drives left block, shoots a layup, he missed. Rebound Williams. Now hard elbows, almost caught the face of Terrell. Have to be careful about that. Here comes Trent Dunn, passes far corner. Wes Ayers saves it over to Brandon Shields, shoots for three, too hard. And as Williams goes to the floor, foul is called on Francisco Williams, it seems. And they call it double foul. That is the second time that has happened. This is an incredibly rare game, folks. So a double foul called on Williams as well as Poithrel. Poitras, excuse me. And now a whistle. Trent Dunn slaps the ball, ready to go. Minute 20 left to go. Rams lead 85-58. Passes in, Wes Ayers muscles up a right baseline shot, tipped into the hands of Jones for Piedmont International. Coast to coast, bounces left side. Weston, he's fouled, and now he'll shoot two. This game continues. A foul is called on Brandon Shields. Minute 12 left to go. Third foul called on Brandon Shields. 10th foul on Bluefield. Long game, folks. Long one. Weston shoots the first of two right through the net. 85-59. Rams led by as much as 31. Swirls the ball around in his hand. Shoots again. Rims in. 85-60, 25-point lead for Bluefield. Trent Dunn passes left corner. Ibafemi rises for three. Swish. 28-point lead, and Ibafemi's on the scoreboard for the first time with a minute remaining. 88-60. Here comes Terrell. Dribbles onto the left side. Underhands Gibson, left wing. Entry lob down low to Poitras. It returns out in the left wing for Terrell. Here's Weston from the top of the key, off of the dish. No good. Poitras back on the deck. And a foul is called down low. That's going to go on Williams. 88-60 the score. And Poitras, the freshman, goes to the line. First free throw right through. 45.2 seconds left. Second shot, not in. That was the fourth foul on Francisco Williams, by the way. 40 seconds left to go, rebounded by Trent Dunn. Dribbles onto the right wing, underhands Wes Ayers, now at the top of the key on a crossover. Chucks up a long two, misses. Well, he's just hanging up everything. 30 seconds left to go, about a second differential between game clock and shot clock. Jones underhands Gibson. His three at the top of the key is no good on an air ball. Swung back in by Keon Jones, went into the backcourt, and stolen away by Wes Ayers. Goes down the lane on a backhanded drive. Layup can't go. Rebound Williams. Stick back can't fall either with 10 seconds left to go. 9 seconds, now 8 seconds. Here comes Terrell. Passes left side Jones. Underhands Terrell. Shoots a three, air ball, and that will be how the game ends. Bluefield gets revenge on Piedmont International and picks up a 27-point win, 88-61, and improved to 13-7 on the year, while Piedmont International falls to 7-11. After a pretty crazy first half, the second half was a bit more orthodox, we should say. 88-61. Bluefield picks up a win, and they'll play next in 2 days on the road in a conference matchup against Columbia International. But as for this game, Bluefield wins it 88-61.